Landon. It's great to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Lamont, Illinois. It's about like 45 minutes out from Chicago.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got some of your wind down here in Memphis, Tennessee, because it is super windy here today.
Same here.
It's messing with my internet connection on my computers, and I usually don't have those kind of problems, but we've got some huge storms rolling in, so bear with me a little bit if anything kind of happens. We'll just kind of work our way through it together.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Well, listen, I'm excited to introduce you to the world and for the world to get to know who you are, Mr. Landon James. You have a great career already at the ripe young age of
17 years old.
17 now. Man, gosh. I remember 17. It was many moons ago. But you've done more than most people my age have done just in the short time that you've been doing this. So you are an Elvis Tribute Artist, an ETA.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot of your videos. I've seen a lot of your work that you've done thanks to Kevin, your manager/friend. And I can't believe that we've not crossed paths, during all the Elvis stuff going on around here. But I'm excited to tell people about you. And I want to know a little bit about, first, tell everybody how you even got involved in being an Elvis tribute artist.
So this is the funniest story because my parents were into Guns N' Roses, also, I guess, Bret Michaels, Poison, stuff like that. So the way it started was when I was age of 9, and I was 9 years old, and I was watching Full House with John Stamos, and he was Jesse, and he was into Elvis, stuff like that. Obviously, at Graceland they have him as the narrator for the tour, the whole thing with the iPad headphones. But I really got into it from there, and I started listening to like Love Me, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You, kind of starting with the 50s stuff. And then I started listening to his music, Elvis's music, and then it just kind of grew with me ever since 9 years old. And then for the past probably 2.5 years, I've been doing it professionally, doing shows all over. And now I got a show booked with Bill Cherry in St. Louis on June 18th at the Casa Loma Ballroom. So I'm very looking forward to that show.
Oh my gosh. So were you familiar with Elvis before you watched all of the Full House stuff and all that?
No, I had no clue who Elvis was, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I could have maybe heard it when I was a little kid, but I don't remember before like being 9 years old. But
yeah,
I think it was kind of like one of those things, like I looked at the TV and saw Elvis, and it just like, like it seemed like just kind of like life changed. It was like I loved Elvis. Kids knew me at school ever since then as the Elvis kid.
Yeah.
But then, I got out of school, like public school, about 3 years ago. And then I started doing online school. Been doing that for a while now. I've been doing pretty good and planning to graduate soon. And then,
awesome.
Hopefully go for the ultimate next year. I'm going to be 18, so I'll be able to do it. So that's kind of what I'm training, doing these shows, just trying to get people to know who I am and get to know more people. And then hopefully in the next year, hopefully it'll end up going well for me.
Oh, well, I have no doubt, because look, you've already won. You were the 2020 Windy City People's Choice winner, and again in 2022.
Yep.
And you were the 2021 Tupelo Elvis Youth Competition champion. Now, what was that like? Because that's a big deal.
Well, one of the big things for me was actually Bill Cherry was a judge in it.
Okay.
And I have never met him before. And I knew he was the closest thing to Elvis. And I think any purist Elvis fan would really know that his like mannerism, stuff like that, and the look and just every little thing is so close. So when I knew that, I was like, dang, I'm going to have to be very good to win his, So when I did it, I got to sing Bridge, and then I did the finals, Pokes Out Annie, and I guess just my voice and some of the mannerisms, I think, caught on to the judges and Bill. And then after I won the competition, I was like, nice to meet you, Bill. And he said, and I asked him, what did you think of me? And he said, like, you're really good, man. I have nothing to say. He said, like, not a lot. But, I think over this next year or two, I think I'm even grow more. Even since Tupelo, I was 16 at the time, I'm 17 now. I think ever since then, up till, future goes on, I think I'm only going to be growing. And I think I learned from other Elvises, make sure to stay and listen to Elvis and try to be authentic, but also have fun with it and make sure the audience is happy. So that's what
Yeah,
really matters.
absolutely. Well, and you've already been on the Ryman stage and
Oh yeah.
performed there, which had to be really cool. I've been on it myself, and so I know how that feels. It's a great feeling. Did you stand in the circle? Did you get to stand in the circle?
I don't think so. At least of what I remember. The only things I remember was there was a lot of stairs going up to one of the changing rooms or something, or the stage. And I remember because I was really little then. I'm really tall now. I'm probably one of the taller Elvises, probably compared to like Ryan Pelton, who's really tall as well.
Yeah.
I'm about, I think, 6'1.5" or 6'2.5" or 6'3". With boots on, it adds a couple inches, but
Yeah.
but I'm really known to be one of the tall guys. So when I was at the Ryman, I was so little, and the stage was like big. And
Yeah.
and that place could fill up probably a couple thousand, I'm guessing, or
Mm-hmm.
1,000 too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember it was a good experience. I played acoustic. I never really said much about it, but I got to play my old blue acoustic guitar on stage, and I sang Cal Falling in Love, and then I went into Blue Suede Shoes. This is
Oh
when
wow.
2016, I think it was. So I was only, I think, 11, 12 years old. So it's kind of like in the middle of when I first
Yeah.
started listening to Elvis, but I didn't know a lot about him yet, but I did okay. I wore like a gold lame, cheap gold lame on stage,
Yeah.
and it was awesome, and it was fun doing that. And then now, like a couple months ago or whatever, I learned actually then that Elvis did perform there
Mm-hmm.
in 19, I think 55, I want to say, or around that time
Yes.
period when he just started out. But they said that the audience didn't like it because he was, moving and stuff like that. And they're more used to more traditional country like Johnny Cash, stuff like that. And Elvis, I guess, was like kind of just saying like, I don't know, like about he didn't really enjoy the show because the crowd didn't like it. But
Right.
then obviously then he grew into the star and the legacy today, it still stays over, 50 years since his death. So I think it's an achievement of him. And then I think it's great that people like me and Bill, my buddy Everett Dean, and a bunch of other guys get to tribute to Elvis, or just anybody in general playing his music, sharing it. You doing the podcast with Elvis's and stuff like that. I think it really helps and matters to the Elvis's legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I was born, he was still alive. So I had a few years before he passed away, and so I'm a lifelong Elvis fan myself. So it's great for me to see people your age and even younger loving Elvis and wanting to continue that legacy, and I just think it's really cool that you have such a great appreciation for him and his music and his history of what he did, overall. What does being able to do this mean for you?
Well, I have to say it kind of answering this with a story because when I stayed at the RV park across from Graceland. I'm betting since you're in Memphis, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But me and my dad were staying there, and we stayed in our camper. We're sitting outside, and we could kind of see the meditation garden. Obviously, it's kind of blocked off by the forest, but it was nighttime, but you could kind of see it with the lights outside. But basically, though, I looked over there, and then I looked at my dad, and I said, I love what I'm doing, and I'm doing it for that man over there. And I pointed towards the meditation garden, and it was like a sentimental moment because I was like, I'm doing it for this guy that I never met, died over 40 years ago, or 45 years, whatever years ago. And, you know, and I'm keeping his legacy going. And I guess I try to remind myself, obviously one day I'm going to have to be doing this where I can make some money, and stuff like that, obviously to be able to support myself, obviously to get more suits and more stuff like that. But, but the number one thing is to do it for Elvis, and I hope if, you know, he's up there in heaven seeing me doing this, hopefully he's proud. And he does, he never met me, but, hopefully he sees me from up there, man.
Well,
And I just want to make him proud.
Yeah, absolutely. And he may have never met you, but you got to meet Linda Thompson.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about that.
So, see, it's funny because I say a lot of the things I do, but I never get into detail, like about the rhyming. I never explained what I did. So, it was kind of funny with Linda Thompson. So, I was performing on the stage, and I did You Gave Me a Mountain, and it was right after I won. I was wearing jeans, I think a black shirt with my I have it in my closet, but it's the black Cisco Kid vest. And I was singing, and then after she shouts at me, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 16." I'm 17, 16 at the time. But then I kind of like, I think she pointed like, so it was at the Silver Moon Club in Tupelo, and I think that's what they call it. But I was kind of talking to her in the corner right by stage, and I was asking her, how tall was Elvis? I said, I want one question. How tall was Elvis? Because, they say he was 6 foot, 5'11". There's that whole thing about it. She said that Elvis was 6'1". And at the time, I think I was 6'1". Hey, because I've grown taller since then even. But I said that was so cool because then I'm tall as Elvis was, because there's a lot of guys that are really short guys, like 5'4" doing it. And then I'm the
Right.
taller guy. So I find it cool. But then I was like, can we take a picture together? She was like, sure. My phone, I was shaking my hand nervously. And then I usually don't get nervous. It's a one thing of me that I don't get nervous in front of people. Maybe in like the back room before the show, I'm like just thinking like, oh my God, I got to perform in Tupelo or
Right.
whatever, anywhere.
Yeah.
But meeting her because she knew Elvis, she was with Elvis. So for me to just meet someone that knew him was so nerve-wracking. So when I was talking to her, I was just shaking my hand with my phone. And then the one guy saw I was shaking my hand. I think it might have been her security guard. And then she was like, here, you want me to take the picture? Kind of saying like, oh, you're shaking your hand a little too much there, buddy. But then they took our picture and it was cool, just because she said I sounded so good and I was so good for my age and stuff. And coming from her because she was with Elvis, I thought that meant really well. So
Yeah.
that moment was definitely a memorable moment for me.
Yeah.
In
Absolutely.
Tupelo, especially after winning and then doing that, it kind of felt like just like a champion. I felt, And a little cool thing too is before I even won, David. Do you know who David Lee is?
No.
So he was one of the ultimate winners from
Yes.
2015.
Yeah.
And I met him backstage before I went. It was in a smaller little room, probably holds 50 people where they did the youth competition. And I was talking to David Lee. There's a bunch of like the Elvis kids that were doing it too with me, and there's a couple that were my age as well. But I was talking to David Lee and he said, you're going to win. You're going to win. He told me, and he was keep calling me champion. He knew I was going to win because I think it was probably because my voice, like, at the time, my voice was really good. I hope it is still, but and I think he just kind of knew, like, because the audience was so dead quiet when I first started singing. Like at first, I walked out, all cheers, but then when I say, "What do we read?" and then they're just like, it was just crazy. And then at the end, it was just loud cheers, and I think even Bill was just smiling the whole time. It's crazy because one more thing, at these Elvis competitions, like the ultimate, you don't really see the judges, like in front of you. But for the youths, they put them right in front of you. And I was like, really? So, and another cool thing about me is I was in jazz band. I've been playing guitar since I was 5 years old. So I was very fortunate to be in a couple of rock bands, jazz bands, but it was in my middle school and we did competitions all the time. So I kind of knew that mentality and the way of judging. So I kind of knew I wasn't nervous when the judges were in front, but I was a little nervous about Bill because he's an Elvis and he's one of my idols. So
Right.
it's like, oh my God. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of like the one best person you want to impress them the most. It would kill me to think that, one of them like didn't like my tribute, you know?
Right.
But yeah, it's just that moment in Tupelo was definitely important to me. And, you know, I could talk about it all day, but we'll be here for 5 hours if I do that.
Well, I think it's really cool you've done all that. So let me ask you a fun question. Which era of Elvis is your favorite to perform?
Probably have to be 70s just because I've been doing that kind of longer. But surprisingly, when I do the 50s, the crowd really likes it as well. So I'd like to mix it up every show I don't like to do the same thing, because if a fan goes to one of your shows the week before and then goes to a show your next day and you're doing the same songs, it kind of gets repetitive.
Right.
So I try to spread songs out in my set list, but I love doing 50s and 70s, and I'm planning on training more with the 70s. So next year when I do the ultimate, I could be better prepared. There's been things I've been wanting to improve and stuff like that. So, you know, like I always say, like, no one is perfect. There's always room to grow. You know, no one's going to be 100% like Elvis. And everyone says this, but it's true. There's only one Elvis.
Right.
And, you know, even Bill said that to me. You know, Bill is so much like Elvis on stage, but when he's off stage, he is such a different person, a nice guy, a friend you would want to talk to every day. And, you know, Elvis was a good guy, you know, so everyone has to be nice, you know. And
Right.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really cool. So where do you see yourself going from here?
Well, the plan is I have like 2 shows booked every week now until I think about July. So I have shows coming in. So during the week I'm either resting or working on my school or working on other stuff. But then the weekends is always doing shows. So I've been just planning on doing shows here in Illinois. I'm planning to spread out to Indiana. Me and Kevin, my colonel, manager, friend, whatever you want to call him, we're going to Indiana next week to find some bars and taverns, restaurants that might want to book us. So we're trying to spread out from Illinois. So Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, Missouri. But planning to do that, and then in about a year when I'm able to, it's fine because I was thinking about this today. I was writing down new suits I might buy for next year and stuff, and certain just stuff involving it. And yeah, now I'm just planning also maybe close to the end of the year, I might take maybe like a month or two just to practice Elvis. So then next year I'm going to go to Nashville, Memphis. I'll probably see you there. And we're gonna do like the Nashville contest. We're probably planning on doing next year. Branson, they just did the competition as we speak. They're there right now.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Holmes is really good. He's like the guy, you know, to look out for. I could say that for any ETA out there, and he's really good, you know. But you know, hopefully next year though, I grow out my hair more and do everything I need to do so I can win. I'm pretty confident that by next year I'll be been rehearsing enough and learning new things where maybe I could be fortunate to win. Because that's the plan then. Because then after, if I hopefully win, then I really want to do a tour around the U.S. like Elvis did. One of my goals that I don't think has ever been totally done. I would say like Bill, Cherry, Sean Clush, Cody Ray Slaughter, probably the guys that have been doing it. But or Dean Z as well. Traveling around the country to other UK, Chile, because they used to do one where they would have like 10,000 people. I really want to recreate what Elvis did, kind of Elvis on tour, where he went to Greensboro, Charleston, Albuquerque, Los Angeles, or just like I want to do a tour all around the states like Elvis did.
Yeah.
Because it's never been exactly done where people traveled all the states and called it on tour.
Yeah.
So that would just be a cool little thing because I really want to recreate that image and certain things. And there's a lot of guys that have already, but that's just my goal
Yeah.
for the next couple years to come to do tours and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you want to get to where you're competing, like you said, in the Ultimate and the different things that are Graceland endorsed, Elvis Presley Enterprises endorsed?
I'm looking
on a bigger level.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking into it, and also I really want to work with legends in concert, stuff like my father is a businessman, so I kind of have that business mentality, thinking right now, do as many shows as possible, make friends, just have fun with this. And then the next year when I'm 18, so I can compete in the Ultimate, stuff like that. Then I'm going to take it really seriously where I want to travel every contest, hopefully, and get into semifinals, then do the finals in Memphis, and then do that. Because then I want to tour, hopefully do shows with like Cody Ray. Cody Ray would be fun to do shows with, man. He could do 50, 68, I could do 70s, or I could open up for him. I don't care. I just want to do shows with him. And then Bill Cherry as well. But I'm already doing shows with Bill Cherry, so that means the world. He invited me to do the show with them, and coming from someone like him, it's so, I can't even say what it means just by someone that popular to invite just me, this 17-year-old kid out of Lamont, Illinois. But I think he just thinks that I have the spirit of Elvis, maybe, or something like that. So maybe where I can do it. So it means the world, and so hopefully this only gets better and better. I have a long time, so I have like 50 more years to do this, so.
Oh yeah, you've got a long career ahead of you, and just based on what I've already seen and heard, you're going to go far.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So what do your friends think about you doing this?
Friends? No. My only friends are really Kevin and Chris. Kevin obviously loves it. Chris, he isn't an Elvis fan. He helps set up my show, or like crew. He sets up the equipment. He runs around with the tip jar. We call him our hype man. It's a little fun thing. Elvis had I think Jackie Kane or whoever. You probably know who I'm talking about. But opening up for Elvis is kind of like the act. So I kind of let Chris be that guy for me and just get the crowd excited and stuff. Yeah. So hopefully one day he'll still do it for me. And, but they really love it. And obviously my mom and dad have been very supportive. My mom's been battling thyroid cancer, so she's been not able to make a lot of the shows, but we always Facebook Live our shows so she could watch from home. But her and my father have been always very supportive. So is my grandparents, family, stuff like that. So it means the world to have a family and friends that support me. Because if I didn't, I don't think I'd be here today still doing this. Got all the support. And also the fans too,
Yeah, absolutely.
Fans, everybody.
Do you have a good fan base already built up just locally?
Well, yeah, we did a show here. I'm going to sponsor them. Mom Luigi's in Bridgeville, Illinois. They one of our shows we sold out with 103 people in their whole banquet hall, and then we just did a show, I think 85, 90 people, but their shows always give us the best results. And sometimes we'll do parties, but still fans will just come and stuff. But from right now, it seems like it's only building up. So Kevin actually told me one thing. There, how do you say it? Humble beginnings. It's so funny, but it's true. Humble beginnings, Landon. But you've got to start off low and only build up. You got to deal with it at first when you don't have a lot of people coming and maybe not the best suits or equipment, but then you grow and stuff. So I think I've been doing pretty well for myself. I don't think my dad and mom told me this day, like for 17, no kids doing this. There are a couple out there though, other than me, like Finley Watkins is doing really well. I know he's performing in Memphis right now, I think. And then also like couple of other people, I can't name them, but there are some 17 younger, about 18-year-olds doing this, but I think I'm probably one of the only ones here in Illinois. So I find it, or just in general, I think I'm one of the most successful to, just with shows. And I owe it all to my fans, Kevin, booking me all these shows. So, and I owe it to my family. So hopefully this only gets better from here.
Oh, I think it will. Absolutely. So, okay. let's round it out. I'm gonna ask you some fast, fun questions. Just answer off the top of your head. Ready?
I'll try.
Favorite Elvis song?
Bridge over troubled water.
Why's that?
Oh, I thought this was fast questions. I was
It
ready.
is, but I'm gonna throw you a curveball every once in a while.
Okay, I'm excited. It's my mom's favorite song. Also, that's the song I won Tupelo with. So I kind of considered it like, and just, I guess I'm known to sing that song.
Yeah.
So it kind of has to be like my favorite one, but I do enjoy it. Also, I guess also another song probably would be like You Gave Me a Mountain as well. You can add that one in.
Okay.
All right.
Favorite Elvis movie?
It Happened at the World's Fair. It's one of those B-side movies, probably no one, or B-side record, B-side movie. But I love that movie because I love the beginning scene where Elvis is, you know, it's horrible to say, but making out with the girl. And he's like, relax, take your shoes off, baby, relax. You know, here we are alone. And I love that scene. And then the father and mom come in, and then he's like, hey, mom, hey, dad. It's fun. It's just and then the dad actually fires the gun, and Elvis runs off. And then I love the song from the movie, They Remind Me Too Much of You.
Yeah.
Like, hide young lovers, warm embraces, just, and then he does that like high part. Must be evermore be haunted day after day, my whole life through. Blah blah blah. My voice ain't good. I had a show last night, but that movie was, I don't know, something about the movie I just liked.
Okay. Okay. Favorite room in Graceland?
Room in Graceland?
Yeah.
It's between two rooms.
Okay.
The first one being the front room, like with all the white, and then those the windows, stained glass windows.
Mm-hmm.
And then also though the TCB room. I love the TVs, and also just the style is so retro disco 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so I always consider that to be probably my favorite room.
Okay, and favorite jumpsuit?
Right now, as of now,
uh-huh.
Well, for the ones I have, it's probably the Black Mandor. I wear it all the time. Or Black Red Lion, whatever you want to call it. But like on Facebook, here, I have to sponsor myself. Landon James. Landon James ETA is my Facebook page, but people can friend me at Landon James. But I wear that suit a lot. And but one I'm looking to buy one day is either the Sundial or the Gypsy suit. Those are two of my favorite suits.
Yeah. I got you on that one, didn't I?
You almost did.
Okay, if you weren't doing the ETA stuff, what would you do?
I'd probably be a guitar instructor because
really?
I was taught guitar since how to play guitar since I was 5 years old. I learned music theory, just reading notation, stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think I would probably be doing something in the music field, or maybe even a band director, because I was into that a couple years ago until I got in more Elvis.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I would have been.
Okay, I can see that, absolutely. So the next time you come to Memphis, you got to promise me that you will let me know so that I can meet with you in person and we can get you on some more shows.
Yeah,
I would love that. And if you have any of your music, when you get to that point that you have recorded, I'd love to put it out on the radio show too.
I might have to send some over now.
Absolutely. We'll get it out there. We'll do a little featurette on Walking in Memphis with Kimber, the radio show for you. And is there anybody you want to shout out to that's helped you out that we haven't talked about already? And again, tell everybody how they can find you and what you got coming up show-wise.
Well, good. I have my computer here so I can see. I had it ready just in case. People can visit my website, LandonJamesETA.com, or my Facebook, Landon James, Facebook page, Landon James ETA. And then those are kind of my main. I have an Instagram, Snapchat, stuff like that, but I mainly use Facebook is my main thing. But yeah, and also I'll shout out obviously to my mom and dad, my beautiful mother and my dad. Well, my dad's beautiful, but my mom's more beautiful. But then shout out to my buddy Kevin, my Colonel, and then Chris. Also, I was just wondering though, you do walking in Memphis as well,
Walking in Memphis with Kimber is my radio show.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I saw your guys' YouTube channel. I think I saw one of my videos maybe on there when I won Tupelo, unless it was a different thing. But I thought
it might have been on Walking in the Walking on the Boulevard, maybe.
Oh.
I bet it was on that. Yeah.
No, because that's not familiar. I was like, I might know you then from a while back. But yeah, just shout out to my fans and just everybody. Because if it wasn't for everyone supporting me, I wouldn't be doing this. If I didn't have my beautiful mom, if I didn't have my mom and my dad, I wouldn't be doing any of this. It means a lot having them in my life. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's really great. Well, I'm so excited to see where you go with this. And you got to promise me when you make it really, really big, you won't forget us.
Oh, I won't. Trust me. No, I always praise and really am thankful for my fans. And I always walk around after the shows, talk to everybody. And I try to make sure to make my rounds and make sure to just tell thank you to every single person.
Yeah.
Just to make sure they know that I'm not just there for a couple of bucks or whatever.
Right.
I'm there to make them happy, and I hope they enjoy the show and stuff like that. So, as long as they're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, I can tell you've got a great personality, and I know that the fans love you for that. And I'm just so happy that we finally got to connect on here. And I want to have you back soon. Once you get a few more shows past you and maybe another competition or two, we'd love to come back and catch up with you again.
Awesome. Well, hopefully if I win the Ultimate next year, you can interview the 2023 Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist champion, Landon James. That's what I'm hoping.
Let's plan on it. I think it'd be great. And I'd love to meet you face to face and get a good picture with you and just show everybody how far you've come, how far you're going to go.
Sounds great.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk with me today. I'm glad we finally were able to make this happen.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on your show. It means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And listen, I'm going to keep your mom in my prayers too.
I'll tell her. I'm going to walk down right after this and tell her that.
Please do. Please do. Absolutely. And thank you so much. And one more time, tell everybody your website, your main website, so they can go find you again.
All right. So they can find me on LandonJamesETA.com. You'll see all my shows and everything else on there.
And if they just type your name into Facebook, they'll find all your pages as well.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Landon.
All right. Thank you.